Okay, let's dive in. There's gonna be a story about, I guess, my first love. Her name is Brianna. And I mean, if she does ever listen to this down the road, she's gonna be like, this man, he's crazy, blah, blah, blah. But let me just say that. Okay, before I say this story, I just wanna say, first girl I ever talked to, 8th grade, or no, 9th grade, my sophomore year. Her name was Ariel. We went to prom. It was a very awkward thing. I don't want to skip that, but I don't want to tell that because it's not really like that. Okay, getting back to the chase. So Brianna. Basically, when I went to Palo Verde, the end of my freshman year, beginning of my sophomore year, I was nervous going through high school, but I mean, like I still had the confidence, and so I wanted to do debate club. I love to argue, and most people that know me know that I do like to argue, even if it's about nothing or something stupid, just for fun. And so I joined speech and debate club, and so good decision, considering that I found my first love. But yeah, so let's get into that story. So I was in speech and debate club, having a good time, blah blah blah, this and that. What ends up happening is there's a tournament. Brianna was in the class, and she was going to the tournament as like I was, And so we had a friend that took us to the tournament, and his name was oh my gosh, I forgot his name. Okay, he was tall. I'll bring him up later in one of the other videos, but he was like my best friend at the time. So he took us all the way to Henderson. And she needed a ride too, so she got a ride from him. So when we got to Foothill, or I should have thought about this before I made the video. It was one of the schools in Henderson. It wasn't Foothill. It was like the Green Valley. So when we got to Green Valley, everybody kind of split up and did their own thing. And Brianna, she said to the group, she was like, "Hey, does anybody want to watch my play?" Because she's doing a play. It was like an impromptu thing, and everybody else was kind of busy, like doing their own thing. And so I was the only one that was like, "Hey, I'd like to see your play." And then she did this whole thing about her and like witches, I think. And I mean, it was the cutest thing I ever seen. And so I was happy to be that special person she shared that with. And kind of that whole day was kind of like us getting to know each other. It was like a date type thing. Obviously, I mean, she would think otherwise, but like me, younger, not having any experience, first girl, it kind of hit me deep. And so going forward, like the next day at school, like we just started talking more, started hanging out more. She had a lot of stuff going on in her personal life. Like I'm not even gonna say in this video, that's but yeah, she had a lot going on, and and I wanted to talk to her about it, and I was kind of there for her for all that, and it kind of made our connection a little stronger, and so I started walking her to class, and so that was fun, and it was very innocent. Nothing like between us, nothing ever extreme happened. It's just like I got my first kisses. A lot of the reason why I'm laughing so much, just remembering that. Like I walked her to class one day, and like I wasn't even expecting it, at the time I just kind of wanted to be there, And so I got my first kiss. She kissed me, and I was shook, like I was like, is this really happening, And that just that good feeling, And so basically, long story short, is like we're having a really good time talking and everything, but she's moving away to Texas, and so that kind of hit me hard. And I remember the day she left, it was so surreal, and I was like, we gotta have a going away party, something, like a bittersweet moment. And the first thing, or one of the things I remember her saying is she loves Oreos, And so I was like, bet you like Oreos, then guess what, I like Oreos too. And so I went to this store, and I got literally 7-8 packs of Oreos, and I just started handing them out to people, kind of like, they didn't know what was going on, but it was special for me. She was leaving, and I was so emotional, it didn't really sink in, but just the fact that she was leaving, and all this and that and everything that had gone on between us. And so the end of that day, it was like, I mean, the first time I made out with a girl, you know, Brianna. And so that didn't help with my emotions, you know. Like I was like, okay, you know, like I feel even more now that you're leaving, and so that stuck with me. So she moved away to Texas, and I passed out the Oreos. My name on Instagram is Tyrone Oreos, you know. It's just one of those things, and I mean, she went to Texas. It's a whole nother story on the aftermath, but basically, you know, she's my first, I mean, love, you know, puppy love, whatever you want to call that. But it you know, it had me shook for a while. And I mean, this is the first story. This is like the first. I mean, not the most interesting, but you gotta start somewhere, you know. So this is story number one. Wait for number two.